Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Legacy Wealth Talk, where we all can be open to important conversation regarding various topics related to life transformation, love, happiness, well-being, relationship, and wealth. My name is Nomsa Clara Mnube. I am the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the co-founder of Legacy Wealth Talk. So this morning I have our lovely guest, Brenda. So Brenda, could you please introduce yourself? And also our topic today, me and Tarini, we've decided for the whole November, because it's lockdown, we're gonna talk about how coronavirus has affected you. But today, as an opening, we're just gonna talk about hope. We're just gonna give hope to our audience and hope to the businesses and hope to people who have lost their loved ones and people who have been affected in hospital. So Brenda, could you please introduce yourself and take the stage?
Good morning, everybody. I am Brenda Dempsey. I'm a publisher, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, and I'm an international best-selling author. And for me, it's lockdown has been interesting, shall we say. So I know we're going to talk about hope, but just let me give some thoughts as to how it's impacted on me, and then we can turn our attention to hope. So, in the beginning, when during lockdown number one, um, I was in Dubai. I had my daughter just given birth to a beautiful baby girl, Aria, and it was such a joyful occasion. And then all of a sudden, there was all the talk about coronavirus, about how the world would need to go into lockdown, not just as a little part of the world, but all the world, because most of the countries were impacting with the effects of coronavirus. Well, you know what it's like when something is new. You're not really sure what's going to happen. And, if you're a bit like me, you quite often take things in your stride and you think, oh, well, right, we're going into lockdown for, I don't know, I think it was 6 weeks or so in the beginning, and or maybe was it 12, can't remember now because so much has happened, but anyway, it was that initial we're going into lockdown, and it's always a bit novel in the beginning, and nobody was sure what was happening and what would it look like and what would it feel like and what was going to happen as a consequence of that. But we all know too well, looking at the figures, that we soon learned that people catching coronavirus were being hospitalized. Our hospitals, in my 60 plus years on this earth, have never known anything like it. But they were being overwhelmed, having to deal with people who could not breathe, the very thing that gives us life. That first breath is a newborn baby that I had just witnessed. So we, with the media, I suppose most of us became very fearful. What if I get it? What will happen? Particularly if you're a parent, you've got young children. What will happen to me? Will I be able to work? How am I going to have money? How am I going to make ends meet? There was 101 questions arising out of lockdown. And at first, you could use the word novel, that it was a little bit novel, because Zoom, I'm sure their shares went up. People were finding ways, they were being creative, they were being resourceful, they were finding ways in which they could still communicate and keep in touch with loved ones and with business. And so we saw lots of enterprising things happening, people doing things and bringing like minded people together. So singers would come together and we created amazing pieces of music in harmony across the whole energy field of the earth, showing that we are in fact all connected. People with the great Joe Wicks, he was up and everybody was talking about Joe Wicks, keeping our energy levels up, keeping fit and healthy. People were going out walking in isolation. But during that time, I definitely felt hope in that for a better world, because people would smile, they would nod, they would say hello at a distance, something that never, ever, ever happened before. So people were connecting through gaze, through smile. So there's more ways than just words to connect. And this was a great way of showing that the world could not be defeated. It was hopeful that we would find ways, as we always do, whenever we are faced with challenge, with trauma. We just need to look over history and we can find how people dealt with things. The Great Fire of London, the plague, we've had this before, the 100-Year War. Could you imagine living through a 100-year war? What that would be like every day, to be suppressed, oppressed, where you couldn't express your voice. But today, that's where there's hope. We have hope in free expression. We can express our voice, our thoughts. Just look across social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Figures are rising, people are expressing their thoughts. And we've just had the American election where people were expressing their thoughts, polar poles apart with Democrats and Republicans. We have a freedom of speech in our world, and more countries who have been oppressed are showing that. That's why just before lockdown, we saw many people taking to the streets in Hong Kong, wanting to have an expression of who they wanted to be ruled by. All these countries where people have been oppressed, all of these things, if you think about them, reflect, and begin to join the dots, you can see people have had enough. And that is a word I love to hear. Enough. Because out of the darkness of what we're living through, we get a glimmer of hope. That glimmer of hope sparked within us because we've had enough of what is happening. We cannot be silenced anymore. We have a world of internet. We can express what we like, but I do say come from a place of love, come from a place of responsibility. It's not saying what you like to put other people down. No, that's not what I mean when we use freedom of expression. Of course, some people take liberties and they abuse the freedom of expression. So that whole aspect of voice is very, very, very close to my heart. We can express ourselves through our writing, through becoming an author, through speaking, through the business, through the work. Look at Nomsa, look at the work she's doing, giving a platform to many women like myself and like you, where we can voice what we are thinking. But hope for me stands for, the H is the hunger for something different, where we've come to a point where enough is enough is enough. No more darkness, no more adversity. We have got to do something different. So we have that hunger of hope, the hunger of hope saying, let's do this. Let's find like-minded people. Let's join arms and let's come with our unique voices in harmony as one voice. O is for the opportunity. We seek opportunity. When we open our minds, opportunity finds us. Doors appear. We can open and walk through. Take today. Nomsa contacted me yesterday. Can you speak tomorrow morning? Opportunity. Of course I'm going to speak, because I'm a woman on a mission to make a difference. And I have a message that's filled with hope, with strength, with love, with unity, with an I can revolution, that you can do whatever you want when you make that decision, when you make that choice. Because we've been suppressed for so many years in thinking that we cannot do things. In fact, we can do anything we want. We just need to look at the younger generation. Thelma Thunberg, she's a young girl voicing her truth. No more. Taking on the adults, the rulers of this world. So I don't know, I like that word. I mean, the leaders, so that's the word I should have used. And all of this does come round to COVID and the pandemic, because it's given us a new opportunity as the O of opportunity, to find new ways of being, to find new ways of coming together, to find new ways of keeping ourselves safe and our loved one. The P is for persistence, being persistent in our message, keeping going with that message. The hunger, the opportunity, keep going, keep looking for it, not giving up, not giving up. You know, many of our religions in the world tell us, I know the Bible tells you, if you fall down 7 times, get up 8. Turn the other cheek, keep going, be persistent, don't give up. Because when we compound our positivity and our persistence, we get the results we're looking for. And E is our energy. This is a time where we connect into ourselves, the source of our energy, the source of our energy coming from the sun, the universe, God, Allah, whatever it is that you believe in. We are energy and we are all connected. It's up to us to fuel the hope by looking inward, by meditating, by reading, by discussion, by taking time out, by being in stillness, giving peace to our thoughts, quieting the mind that tries to tell us lies and makes us believe things that are not true, because you are a powerful being. And even through these dark times, hope is absolutely eternal. And without it, we put ourselves in a place of darkness. We keep ourselves there. But no, hope is a very strong human drive for change, for something different in this world. So yesterday, I was sorting through old photographs, and I found, I was looking for a photograph of myself and my late mum, who's been dead for 15 years. Now, I thought I had dealt with my mother's death, but I found myself getting sucked into a chasm. And that's all right. And this is the biggest message I want to give you about COVID and about any other challenge that you've got. Accept that you might feel low and down. But here's the secret: do not judge it. Do not tell yourself, I'm depressed, I'm feeling miserable. Because the more you tell yourself that, the more that you will be taken into that story. Instead, be the author of your chapter, be the author of your own story, and shout plot twist. And do not accept those negative thoughts. Turn it around and come up with the positive story. So I felt low and down, I cried, and then the smile came across my face, the change, the smile, the rise of the positive energy. What was my mother's legacy? My mother's legacy was she gave me strength. My mother's legacy was she gave me a positive mindset and a connection to the rest of the world in her generosity, in her kindness, even when we had very little ourselves. One of the best things, and one of my authors in Voices of Hope spoke about when her house went in a sinkhole, when people were dying round about her, so many grave emotional things. What did she say that we should all do when we are in that low place? Find someone to help. Reach out your hand and pull them up. You have that power within you. So sometimes we have to look outside of ourselves and help others. But before we do that, make sure you've connected within. Make sure you've seen your own energy, your own healing. The Ho'oponopono is brilliant for that too. And know that it's okay not to be okay. Know it's okay to be sad and to cry and to feel a little hopeless. But that has to be a fleeting thought. Just light the spark within and know there's a hunger for something different. And you, in the change, have to be the change. You have to be the change to give hope to others. It's like a beautiful ripple effect. When you feel hope and you speak with others, then it ripples and ripples and ripples. But never be alone. Know you're connected and know there are people waiting to give you a hand and pull you up. It's a chain reaction. Thank you very much. I hope there's something in there that will help you today to get through any darkness you may be facing, if that is hopelessness or despair, or if you're just feeling you can't get out of bed. Know that there is light and you just have to find it within. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you so much. I am really touched with your story about your mom and how the memories can still be there, the hurtful memories can still be there because it is someone that you loved all your life. Thank you so much for giving hope to our audience. And I really, really appreciate that. So for me, I'm going to say for those businesses out there, for those people who are going through challenges through their businesses, who have lost their jobs, people who have lost their loved ones during the pandemic, people who are fighting in hospital, things may seem dark. When you are in a dark place, it seems like pandemic has stripped away everything that you've ever known. The good news is, like Brenda said, there is a light and things are going to change for better. She says, she speaks about where there is darkness, there is light. So things know that things are going to get better. I am not saying the sea won't be silent. I'm not saying that the waves will not cease. All I'm saying is the sun will rise. Like Brenda says, there is light. That means the sun will rise with the angels of healing that will take away every pain, every sorrow that has been planted in your life by coronavirus. So as Brenda spoke about her mom, so I will take you back. I'll tell you a story about my father as well. 2006, when I received a phone call, it was my father saying, Nomsa, I have some news. I need to speak to you. You know I love you, but I'm going to die. And I need to tell you that, and I need you to accept this because you know I cannot expect anyone to tell you. So I am going. The doctors have given me a few weeks to leave. And when someone gives you those kind of news, that kind of news, this is the man that I have known all my life as an amazing father, as a dad to me. He was a teacher, he was a mentor to me. So when he gives me the news, so I'm thinking my rock star, this man is my rock star. He's a husband. He was a husband to somebody else. And that woman was going to lose her husband, who is my father, an awesome brother for someone else, which is my uncles. Siblings were going to receive. When I received news that my dad was dying, I knew it wasn't a joke. I felt helpless. I felt that everything was being stripped away from me. I remember on that day, and I am asking God, I'm saying, God, why would you take something away from me, something that I love the most? Why would you take him away from me? And I felt I was in the ocean with the shadow, surrounded with the shadows in that ocean, just seeing him being powerless. And I knew I couldn't take his pain away from him. But I had to say goodbye to my father, the man that I love all my life. I find myself saying goodbye to him. He was suffering. I knew I couldn't take away his pain. I couldn't take away his suffering away from him. And for the past few months, I've been watching people posting their loved ones who they have lost through the pandemic, and those who are in hospital, and the news about businesses that have closed down during the challenging times. I truly believe that no matter what happens, we can still have hope. Like Brenda says, she has written a book about voices of hope. I believe that there is someone who has been selected out there, someone who has been selected to give us cure regarding coronavirus. This is my hope that I believe in. I don't know what you believe in. Through watching everyone on social media, people have been giving us courage, have been giving us strength. The community giving community strength, because they know that the people are going through challenging times. We are going through sickness, we are going through weaknesses, and the pandemic, it feels like bad news that we can't do anything about it. Like the news that I received a few years ago regarding my father. It feels like a message when you are being rejected by a man. It feels like a message when you are being rejected by a man or a woman telling you that I don't want to be with you anymore. That's how the pandemic feels like. Sometimes when you receive bad news, it can feel like withdrawing. You can feel like withdrawing from yourself, from everything you ever know. When I took the news, when I watched the news, people have lost, regarding people losing their loved ones through pandemic, people who have lost their lives through pandemic. I ask myself, why? But God himself says in 1 Peter 5 chapter 10, God of all grace, who called you on his eternal glory in his Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. That means there is someone there who his name or her name has a cure for the pandemic. So that gives me hope, knowing that there is hope, knowing that I can be with Brenda today, who has written her book regarding voice. That gives me hope. I'm here to tell you, do not write your story based on the pandemic season. Let go of pain and sorrow. This is the disease that is unseen, and I believe someone has a cure within. We do not fear the bad news because we are the captains of our ship. We are the masters of our feet. We are the captains of our soul. I encourage you to have hope. You can have hope. I encourage you to talk to yourself. Know who you are. That you cannot tolerate the fear in your life that is being brought by coronavirus. Smile when you don't feel like it. Play a song when you don't feel like it. Trust when you feel like it, when you don't feel like it. Show up when you don't feel like it.
Yes.
Look at every problem where God has put you through and say, I'm going to make it to the end. Climb the mountain to the top and walk like a queen. Walk like a king. No matter what you face in life, you know the universal God, whatever your beliefs, he is on the throne. No challenges is bigger than your existence and purpose on earth. The storms might be here. You know you are the captain of your ship. When everything seems dark, you know there is light inside of you. When you receive bad news in your life, look around. Where there is need for you to fulfill. Help that person that needs help. Go encourage the one who have lost their loved ones through pandemic. When you are helpless others, when you are helping others, you might not see what's behind the veil, but God or the universe, whatever your beliefs, is helping you. Sow a seed. Finances. If you don't have finances, encourage, give hope, like we are giving hope today. Speak life to someone else. When you know you can give hope to someone, don't hold back. Know who you are. Rewrite your story based on who you are. When sorrow shows up, show the sorrow who you are. You are the captain of your ship. You are the author of your story, like Brenda said. Stand up, tell the pandemic it will not make you feel uncomfortable. Stand up, give hope to your life with belief that no matter what pain, no matter what you are going through, coronavirus will not affirm your destination. Coronavirus will not affirm your story. I'll pass to you to Brenda. Brenda, thank you so much for the book of hope that you've written, The Voices of Hope. If you have something, anything you would like to leave with our audience, please feel free.
Thank you, Nomsa. Yes, I just want to let all of you who are watching today who are in business know that in June 22nd this year, I launched a publishing house, but I didn't even know on the 1st of January 2020 that today I would be a publisher. So, what I'm saying to you, out of circumstance, new paths reveal themselves. And it's about taking the path less traveled and carving your own path. And today, I have 15 authors who are giving hope to the world through their purpose, through their love, through their story. Story is everything. We love story. What's your story? What's your story of hope? This book's full of 30 women's story of hope. And I just want to read a very short 5 lines from Willow Sterick of why she wrote her story and what hope she's given to others. My journey led me to feel deeply compassionate for others, especially the misunderstood folk of the world. These people often feel they don't deserve to take up space, especially those who never felt they fitted into the mainstream. Perhaps this is you. I can help you find your truth just as I have found my truth.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you so much for everything. If you want to get in touch with Brenda, please, you can leave a message on a Legacy Wealth Talk video. You can get in touch with Brenda. And Brenda, if you can put your details at the bottom of the video, that would be great. And for those who want to get in touch with me and telling me, we are here Monday to Friday, and she's moving a house at the moment, so she's busy moving. So I'm gonna have my different guests every day until she's ready to come back. And we love you guys, and live with grace. And Brenda, is there anything, any message you like to leave with our audience?
Just know hope is eternal, and be kind to yourself, because we berate ourselves way too much. Just know that you are love, you are light, and in this month, you are the voice of hope for someone else.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you so much. I'm actually trying to stop the video. It's not stopping. It's not taking me to the page. So what I'm gonna do, Brenda, I am going to, actually, it's not taking me to Zoom. So for me to end the thing, I'm gonna just end the page. So I'll talk to you on WhatsApp anyway.
Okay, my darling.
I love you very much, and thank you so much for coming to the talk today. And
you're most welcome, and it's my pleasure anytime. Have a great day. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.
Later, bye.
To the flip.
Bye.